Oh, is this thing on? I think it is. Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. And today I want to talk about someone who I've talked about before. He's on my list of greatest bass players of all time, the one, the only Alphonso Johnson. Now, Alphonso Johnson played every kind of bass. He could play acoustic, he could play fretless, say that three times fast. He could play anything. And of course, most of the world got introduced to him through his very successful stint across three of Weather Report's most well known albums: Mysterious Traveler, Tail Spinning, and Black Market. Some would say their finest albums. And he's played with everyone. He's played with Santana, he's played with Phil Collins, loads of great work with George Duke. He's played with the great Alan Holdsworth, Steve Hackett, Bob Weir. He's done loads of session work. But in the 70s, he released a trio of solo albums that were absolutely groundbreaking because they were albums that really helped to introduce an instrument called the Chapman stick to the wider world. The Chapman stick, much as its name would imply, is a stick-like instrument with multiple strings, and you play it like this. It's sort of an instrument that combines the technique of a bass with a guitar, and you play it essentially by tapping. I mean, we all know what Eddie Van Halen does on the fretboard with tapping. Well, the stick is essentially one giant fretboard. And Alphonso Johnson is probably, along with Tony Levin, the most famous exponents of this stick-like instrument called the Chapman stick. But that's not the only reason that the three albums that he did were so cutting edge. The composition was absolutely fantastic, the playing fantastic, the personnel fantastic. Now, the first of these three albums, Moonshadows, isn't for some reason, probably because of lawyers, available on your Spotify's and your Whatify's. But the next two, Yesterday's Dreams and Spellbound, are very much available. So check those out, bookmark them on your playlist. They're some of the most interesting, melodic, most rich, chordally developed fusion albums of all time. And again, the playing is superb, and you can hear just what the Chapman stick sounds like in its native environment. The instrument was only birthed in the middle of the 70s, round about then, and Alphonso Johnson was probably the first super famous person to pick up that instrument and play with it. And there's another fun bit of trivia. One of the reasons that Chester Thompson, who had been a Frank Zappa drummer and then in Weather Report, one of the reasons he ended up becoming Genesis' touring drummer for so many decades was because Alphonso Johnson liked Genesis. He introduced them to Chester Thompson, and words spread from there because Phil Collins was a Weather Report fan. So there you go. But check out Alphonso Johnson's 70s solo albums. They're absolutely perfect from start to finish, and I think you'll like them very much. As always, like this and subscribe to this, whatever this is, and we'll see you next time. Take care.